the next thing we need to discuss is what happens when sexual freedoms are opened. What happens when young people are allowed to just fuck, and it's just normal to be on Tinder and stuff. Men get extremely horny, and so men really want to fuck, and so men start crowding and start wanting to fuck the same girls, and they're sending the messages and everything. That means that women's self-esteem and self-identity starts to inflate, because an average girl is now getting the attention of a fucking 100 years ago. An average girl is getting hundreds of messages, literally almost like a rock star level attraction that she's getting, and she's literally just a 5 or something. And I don't say this disrespect her, I'm just saying the brutal truth. So what happens if sexual freedom is opened up? Men are now allowed to hoard women and start texting them all the time, and of course when you're allowed to just fuck as a guy, it's you may as well go shotgun strategy and message as many girls as possible. Women's self-esteem is rising from that, so women start seeing themselves better. When women see themselves better, they only want to fuck guys who are better than them. So this 5 now thinks that she's an 8 because of the hundreds of Tinder matches that she's getting, and now she'll only fuck guys who are 8s, 9s, and 10s. But these guys won't want to get into a serious relationship with her, which means that she will sounds fucking gross, and I don't mean to be sexist, but she will get ran through by the chads that don't want a real relationship with her because they still see her as a 5, even though she sees herself as an 8. This is the sort of conventional girl that you see who's all guys are the same, guys only want one thing and stuff. Guess why she's saying that? Because she's had these instant sexual experiences with guys who then don't want to get into a real relationship with her because her her sort of image of herself has been inflated by all the little chumps messaging her. Then she's had so much sex with so many different guys that then that reduces her ability to even pair bond and stay true with one guy in the future. This is where we get controversial, and right now, I'll be totally honest, I have a fear that I don't even want to record the rest of this video because it might not be worth me literally losing my entire channel for this video. I could literally get cancelled for what I'm about to say, and I will try and say it in the most uninsulting way possible. But this same woman then who thinks of herself here, even though she is here, and she's been then sleeping with, she wants these guys and she'll happily get into a relationship with them. So they end up meeting up, going on a date, and then they fuck her, and then they don't reply because these guys want a girl up there. This girl has now slept with 10 guys, 20 guys, and there's quite gut-wrenching research that shows that when a woman has slept around, her ability to stay faithful drastically decreases. In fact, it is research. This is not my sexist opinion. There is real core research for this, that the #1 indicator of a woman initiating a divorce and also getting into an affair is her premarital sex history. The #1 indicator that she will divorce you or cheat on you is simply just how many guys she has slept with before you. What's interesting is that it is not about the number of times that she has had sex. So a woman could have sex with her boyfriend 10,000 times, and that would actually affect her less than if she had 10 hookups just one time each. So with the promotion of degeneracy, women essentially become corrupted, and that largely destroys their ability to be able to stay faithful with the guy that they eventually want to really get with. And this is the dynamic you see of a bunch of younger girls who have been really pushed to be so sexually free when they're 16 and 17, 18, having sex since they were 13 years old, going to parties, 18, 19, 20, just enjoying themselves. Girls just want to have fun and stuff, double-digit body counts. And guys aren't free from the responsibilities of this as well. I'll discuss guys, but I just want to talk about what happens to girls. She gets to 22, 23, 24, she wants to start taking things a bit more seriously. She slept with 15 guys, 20 guys, she's had a couple of relationships here and there. And eventually when she's 29 years old, 30 years old, 31, she's had 10 years working and everything, and now she really wants to get married. She's got pressure from her parents to have kids and everything. Then she meets a chump like you, and you're a real man who'll take care of her, who doesn't just want her for sex like all those fuckboys did. Yeah, all those assholes did. They just used. Then she meets a real man like you. A real man. A man who doesn't really care about her sexual history because he's so secure in himself. So she eventually meets the guy who's the sweetheart that she's always wanted. And, she falls in love. Yeah, he's amazing. And, he's so happy. Yeah, I've met my princess. And, her past, oh, it's okay. And then her ability to actually stay faithful with this guy is just fucking, the data shows that it's lowered. But if we think about it in an individual case, what a realistic scenario might be is that, 6 months they've been together, 1 year, they've got a child, 2 years, 3 years, they've got 2 children. And, years have went by, bro, years. And she's had children and everything. Now she's focused on the children. She's maybe in work and stuff. And she reminisces of the Chad from 10 years ago who used to pound the fuck out of her. And she ends up just being a little bit free on a voice call with one of her girlfriends, and they're just talking, and they just subtly keep their voice down. Oh yeah, do you remember Chad? He just came back into the city today. And she's like, oh my God, his dick was so big and everything. And he slept with me so, it was so fucking good. I can't believe that one time him and his friends did. And then imagine her husband's listening in from the door. I know this seems weird as fuck, misogynist, but bro, this is real stuff that happens. For guys, it's a very interesting case of how TikTok, well, not just TikTok, but just the degeneracy leads to this, because guys are then, we've already had this natural impulse inside of us to fuck a lot. And so when we're then heavily promoted to do so, and it's kind of open to, you're being sold sex more than you realize. You're being castrated. All these porn websites, TikTok, social media, they know that you're so addicted addicted to sex, so that they've just like allowed women to, you know, present themselves in this way, because then they're just hooking your attention and they make more money from you. And so the majority of guys go through life just totally just addicted and just distracted by like the sexual shit they see on screens, by, you know, movies and music videos and porn and everything. And the top 10% of like chads, you know, the top 10% of guys, they're eligible to have sex. And so it's a really weird dynamic where like literally the majority of guys have a porn addiction. They're totally lonely. And yet just a small percentage of men have got literally an astronomical body count, like have slept with so many women that you wouldn't even believe. You know, there's men out there who have quite literally slept with thousands of women. And there's a fair amount of guys who have slept with hundreds of women. And yet there's millions, billions of guys who have never even kissed a girl before. So all of these problems, you know, stem from degeneracy. Degeneracy is promoted by TikTok, and all these problems lead to a weak country. It leads to a country that doesn't have a strong family unit. It leads to a country that has men who don't have children, who don't have wives to work hard for. And so those men just kind of, you know, sleep away into the darkness and just go to work, grudgingly come back and just like jack off. And 10 years from now, it'll be the exact same routine, but they'll come back and exchange 0.1 Ethereum for a cuddle in virtual reality fucking metaverse. TikTok isn't entirely to blame for this, because degeneracy has started in these Western countries for a while. But how TikTok comes into this equation is very, very interesting.